What up, Long Beach? Welcome back to your home for everything local sports. It's JJ.
And Mike.
And Tyler, and this 562 Classic video is brought to you by Naples Rib Company. Now open for takeout, so please support our sponsors.
This video originally brought to you as part of our partnership with Gazette Sports. Now the recall for the Classic brought to you as part of our partnership with the Long Beach Post.
We are going back to the 2012 CIF Championship. Long Beach Poly football's improbable turnaround from that 1-3 start, taking on their classic rival Mater Dei. And good gosh, guys, everything just felt right tonight. All three of us were covering this game.
Well, 1-3 almost undersells it. This team lost 56-0 earlier in the season, JJ, and were obviously looked at as not being a team you'd expect to play at Angel Stadium. Another Jackrabbit squad with just so much swag, so many great leaders on that team like Gerard Wicks, Matt Matai, Jayon Brown, Juju, Biggie. A lot of great emotional leaders. One
of, if not Raul Lara's best coaching jobs, it also gave us one of our favorite shots. I mean, the point, the bat, the flags, the crowd. I love that intro.
Yeah, there was so much swagger and determination on that Poly team to prove the doubters wrong, and they had the talent to back it up. And just watching the intros, these programs are really saying exactly what type of programs they are. So pick your fighter, as we choose at the beginning. All the swag of Poly going up against Mater Dei's tradition as well.
Well, and a lot of playmakers. Obviously, we all know Juju Smith-Schuster's gone on to the NFL, but Ty Tiedemann, a pro baseball player. This is the fourth time these teams met in the CIF championships. It was 1-1-1 coming into this game, so a very important historic grudge match here.
Mater Dei in their base defense not changing anything. Poly was changing everything all the time, all the way through the playoffs. They're going with the wild rabbit cat here, something new for every game, and then the block that we'll never forget.
Yeah, Mindoro could lay the wood, and I don't think they'd allow you to hit someone like that, but at that time, it was allowed and encouraged.
Then the hubris of the Mater Dei defense. They looked outmatched. A simple second down play action from Tiedemann to Juju against 7-yard deep man coverage. 7 yards deep, 2 yards in. Yeah, we got this. That is too easy. 21-yard touchdown for the early lead. Team Juju loves it.
Yeah, the Rangers to the Steelers there. You don't often see that play out on the football field. Just the fifth start for Chase Forrest for the Monarchs, and that Jackrabbit defense, man, they came to play in the early going. They were everywhere.
Well, they were such a physical defense. I think the team's pride was really insulted after that 1-3 start, and you could see that through this whole playoff run. They wanted to hit guys hard. They wanted to scare opponents, and it was pretty obvious that they rattled Mater Dei early on in this game.
NFLer Jayon Brown with that big hit, more wrinkles from Poly, and then the big run at the Big A.
Yeah, we were at practice earlier in the week. I saw this play, and I said, I don't know how anyone's going to stop this. This direct snap to Luuga running behind Jason Pop's foul, and I could run for 100 yards behind Pops. So I felt like this play was going to work, and damn did it ever, and that was a huge touchdown for Poly.
71-yard touchdown. Mater Dei had an answer drive first down to future UCLA Bruin Thomas Duarte, but this, what could have been Forrest misses Lockett. Gosh, Mater Dei's probably still talking about that play.
Yeah, couldn't hit the forest for the trees on that one. Juju adding to his legend with some incredible plays on defense. He was just an absolute monster on both sides of the ball through this whole playoff run. You can see Poly not fooled by the Mater Dei shifts. Current Baltimore Raven, Iman Biggie Marshall, just a sophomore in this game, but guarding everyone and knocking everything down, too.
Hold them to a field goal, 14-3, about 11 minutes left in the first half. So they're trying to squib it away from the talent, right? But against the Poly return game, the up man is Biggie.
Right, he's a playmaker, too. And you'll remember earlier in this year, he guarded John Ross against Jordan, the fastest guy to ever run at the NFL Combine. So the versatility of Biggie as just a sophomore is nuts. Duarte is basically a tight end.
We've mentioned the wrinkles on this offense, and I want to point out what they did was every week they brought in an extra lineman. And so that's how they're able to get an extra rusher out in front to block up the defense. And that's why it took the teams they were playing, Mission Viejo and Bosco and Mater Dei, a couple quarters to kind of adjust to that, which I think if you look at all those games, they had a real nice start offensively and then kind of had to protect that lead once teams adjusted to what they were doing.
Just one extra blocker ruled them all. And then the Tom Tucker touchdown 38-yarder. Tiedemann making the throw that Forrest just missed, and that's a big 14-point swing.
Yeah, fastball on the outside corner here at is absolute paint, and Tucker was a big weapon down the stretch in these playoffs on his way to San Jose State.
I just wanted to mention that second view is actually Tyler in the press box. I was on the field, and he was in the press box. So to have the different level replay was revolutionary. for us back in the day.
And we hit the money dance.
Yeah, you could say it was more than revolutionary. We'd never really covered a game like this on this stage before, so it was really exciting. Mater Dei held to negative 14 rushing yards on 30 carries. That Jackrabbits defense, as I mentioned, playing with the chip on their shoulder. And this was one of the last Poly team really that had this kind of depth. I mean, you had 3 and 4 deep Division I prospects kind of all around the field.
Poly getting back at it with a short passing attack. Ty tossing those fastballs, painting the outside, but Poly got a little pass happy, and the drive stalls.
Story as old as time.
So at this moment, you're wondering, if this is going to be a Mater Dei comeback, it starts now. Well, then they have their best play of the night. Forrest on the move to Duarte with a prayer, who switches over his shoulders while the ball's in the air. That is impressive.
Yeah, it took a perfect throw to beat Biggie, who is there in coverage, and Duarte with the great adjustment over the shoulder. That's a hell of a catch and why he was a Pac-12 tight end.
35 seconds left in the half. Forrest to Little in the back of the end zone. And so you're wondering, okay, did they get the momentum back a little bit here? Poly up 21-10. And so I think at this point, Poly's going, we've kind of used our offensive bag of tricks. What are we going to get in terms of defense? But here's the weirdest play of the night by far, the kicked interception from Tom Tucker. And at this point, I think every Poly fan in the stadium is going, oh, this might not be our night.
Yeah, everything's now switching. They go to halftime, same score, 11-point lead. No idea who has the momentum. And at that point, we had no idea that a hard rain was going to fall in the second half. It was torrential. And then this first down to Duarte makes you think, okay, somebody's going to make a mistake. Who's that going to be?
Right. It was definitely advantageous for Poly for that rain to come in because it made mistakes more likely. And when you're the team in front, you want things to get a little sloppy and a little bit weird. And you also want to have Matt Matai coming around the edge. Oh, my God.
The home run hitter just slips right around the left tackle, no pun intended. And then it's Jayon Brown, the Tennessee Titan, with the scoop and score. And I think this is the moment when all Poly fans kind of taking a deep breath because, like I mentioned, you knew Mater Dei was going to adjust to what they were doing offensively. So it was really on the defense to protect that 11-point lead. And once they put that ball in the end zone on defense, it was pretty obvious that this was going to be Poly's 19th CIF championship.
It was like when the enforcers, the Bash brothers, would score for D2 in the Mighty Ducks. You know, once they scored, everything was a wrap, and that's kind of what happened right there.
Mater Dei had 25 plays in Poly territory in the second half and didn't score, and 9 of the 11 defensive starters for Poly had at least one tackle for loss, pass deflection, sack, or interception. These kids were everywhere, and everybody ate.
Yeah, David Price right there. I mean, really all around the field, Division I playmakers. Tyler with the Josh Groban, you raised me up reference right here about the only stalling Poly did. And then even after they made the mistake here on the muff punt to give Mater Dei a chance to score, the defense still stepped up, as you see the big hit right there, and kept them out of the end zone.
This run just part of that 25-play scoreless run, and then the Juju interception going the other way to set up the nail in the coffin drive.
Well, and what an amazing two-way player Juju was throughout those playoffs, dominating on offense and defense. Just got to shout out what he did and what he meant to the Jackrabbits. It wasn't a particularly dominant individual performance in the CIF championship game, the way we've seen from guys like Herman Ho Ching or Deshaun Jackson in previous championships. But for Juju, what he did throughout that entire playoffs, the Fog Bowl semifinal against Bosco, and now in this game, he just dominated and helped carry Poly to this championship.
Well, you see Luuga go in here to put the nail in the coffin, but the other point I wanted to make on Juju was at this time, people are trying to convince him to not play receiver in college. They're telling him, you're an NFL safety. And obviously it's worked out just fine for him. This whole thing worked out just fine for Poly. What an amazing night it was. I love all these shots of Raul Lara. I have gotten a chance to relive these memories with a lot of these players and coaches many times over the last 8 years. And I know it was a special night for everybody there. I had just found out my wife was pregnant with our first child, our son Vincent. So I was feeling like a special night as well. And just everyone felt redeemed, I guess. You could feel that from everyone on that team after that 1-3 start and that lopsided loss to Narbonne.
It was a lot of respect between the coaches and players, and honestly, it was the first time we saw like a public school and a private school be this familiar. They don't play each other a lot, but everybody knows each other. That's regular now with the 7-on-7 and summer stuff. That wasn't regular back in the day. Neither was Johnny Mobley's friggin' backflip.
It was just a bunch of crazy stuff. Juju, unfortunately, at the bottom of that pile, and he would be okay, fortunately.
Yeah, JJ is literally like on the camera going, no. But obviously they found the camera like all stars do. And this is the Raul Lara special. I mean, I don't want this plaque. You guys earned it. You guys take it. He even let Brent Perez, the offensive line coach, take it home with him that night because of the job he did getting them ready. It was his 5 CIF championship, most of any coach in Long Beach history in football.
Such an amazing season, such an amazing championship game, and just the perfect shot to end it. We couldn't know how famous that guy would be doing one of the most famous things you could possibly do with a trophy after one of the most famous years of Long Beach Poly football. All of those things saying a lot, but that is Juju kissing the plaque like the entire city of Long Beach felt like they did that night.
Thanks for tuning in for another 562 Classic. We're going to keep doing these things throughout the summer, so be sure to hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram and let us know what's the next video you want to see in a 562 Classic.